probably one of the best ears I have come across. So as a compiler, what's the most amount of Payola you've been offered? How do you look for people? How do you look for music?
SoundCloud.
Okay.
Right now, TikTok is the craze where you to find someone, because people are shooting short promo videos to promote their music.
Is it important to attach a bio if I'm submitting my music? Like, do you really have to know who I am? Any advice to artists where radio is concerned, where music is concerned?
I think understand that radio has a format.
We're all about sharing the facts and teaching the tricks. Let's talk all things about music, the life of music. Let's engage about the rhythm. Let's talk about our passion for melodies, sound, and those beautiful classics. Let's get educated about these decibels we all so dearly love. On this podcast, we talk about these politics. Welcome to Music Politricks.
Sanbonani dumelang kerekse nakalina ke nabusi baba khulu baba dese bareke the queen of Pitori, and welcome to another episode of Music Politricks. You know how we do, we educate everything strictly music. We are here to share all the facts and of course teach all the tricks via our expert guests. Okay, big shout out to everybody that's following the podcast on the socials. It's just strictly Music Politricks. Shout out to you on Spotify, shout out to you on Apple Podcasts, and of course shout out to you on YouTube. Make sure that you do subscribe if you haven't already. Comment in terms of just on the podcast. Okay, and of course that notification bell is also very important. Now, in today's episode, probably one of the best ears I have come across. But like a beautiful and incredible ear for music. I personally feel like he's got the coolest job in the world. I mean, it's just so cool. Okay, he's been a music compiler go YFM, go 947, and currently rocking things there by Kaya FM. And of course, he's also doing music management. And we're going to understand the difference between all of these things. Maybe when people get Payola, or maybe they don't. I don't know. I'm not sure. But stick around for this conversation because I'm hanging out with Sibusiso Hlatshwayo. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for having
man.
me.
And you really do have a brilliant ear. Like, you do. And it's so cool.
Okay, I need to learn how to,
Accept
receive
compliments.
Exactly, voice point. But I think it's over time, At home, like, they like loving music. And I think that's what also the great relationship I have with my dad as well, is that from a young age, he was the one who was always, we had vinyls.
Yeah.
And I used to sit there, he's chilling, he's drinking his whiskey, and like, yeah, take that vinyl, go put it in the, and play this song.
Yeah.
And then that's how I basically figured out, understanding like a radio, for example. Back then it was one of those silver triple four decker techniques,
And they took so much space. I'm just
they
like,
took so much space.
damn.
So I learned it from there, and then as I grew a bit, the radio side, my grandfather was a radio presenter, a
That's
broadcaster
so cool.
on Ukhozi FM. So we got into a stage of, he would come back, this is back in the day, so I'm showing my age. He'd come back with a reel-to-reel of his show, and he'd sit there and he'd start working on it, editing it, splicing it and all that stuff. And he'd be showing me, yeah, this is what you do. But obviously you don't pick up on certain things as from an early age. You don't realize, nah, man, this is something I'm gonna pursue.
Yeah, because that's so interesting.
Because only when I was older, like, varsity college, I'm like, yeah, BCom marketing management. Got there, it was like, okay, I really am not interested in what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Call my mom, I'm like, hey, it's not working out. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I just got here because all my friends ended up doing this, so I'm here. And she's like, oh, take the rest of the year off, think about what you want to do. Then that's how I got into sound engineering, radio production.
Yeah. This is at Boston, yeah?
Yeah, this is Boston.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into it. And then from there, I was lucky enough to apply for the Y Academy, and I got in. This is 2012.
Wow.
Internship for 6 months. And after that 6 months, I was lucky enough to be hired in the music department.
And that's essentially where you really belong, to
That's
be
how
quite honest.
everything all started. Like, and I wanted to be there, to be honest. Like, I really wanted to be at YFM because I was exposed to YFM via the Y Mags. I don't know if you remember.
Sure, of course.
So Y Mag, I'm like, yo, all the cool people you see, they came from YFM. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! And I used to buy that magazine monthly. And then when I got into sound engineering and the radio production side, I was like, let me take my chance and apply for the academy. Because I was visiting my cousin this side in Midrand, and we'd listen to Y all the time. And he'd ask me, then why don't you apply? You at Boston, everyone from Boston gets in at Y, from my understanding. Then try it
Yeah.
out. Took his advice, and
Ta-da!
the rest is we here now, I guess.
And what's really cool is that you actually jam vinyl, like, so knowing that you were that guy for your dad while you were young is really cool. But what was the sound at home? Like, what was your dad asking you to go play, and what were you listening to?
So let me see. Marvin Gaye, Teddy, of course, Barry White, Foreplay, obviously Quincy Jones, like everything you could think of, because if he found it interesting, he'd purchase
Okay.
and then bring it home and want to listen and sit with it on a Sunday and go through the music. And sometimes you listen to things over and over. And yeah, I think it's a lot. There was a lot, but mostly funk, R&B,
Okay.
that type of stuff. Your Michael Jacksons as well. But obviously that's the Quincy Jones influence.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. And this makes sense because you've got a very diverse ear, Veli.
Yeah.
Like you've got the ability to just hear just good music, whatever the genre is. But what do you actually jam to? Like when you're just sitting, relaxing at home, what are you jamming to? And what do you even particularly listen to on vinyl?
On vinyl, it's just the like hip hop albums I really want to collect.
Okay.
So that's what I have on vinyl, because I know the collection that I'm waiting for is my dad's, which I don't know when I'm gonna get it, but one day is one day. But it's mainly the hip hop albums at this point.
Okay.
Nothing that's house, and I don't know why that is. Maybe it's I've never actually looked in investing in house vinyls, but
Yeah.
and then just the listening is more for, I don't know what I listen to. I can't tell you specifically that this is the genre I listen to on a daily basis. But if something is interesting, I then, even if it's a new artist, I just want to find out more about them and what they've created.
Okay.
So I keep listening and I keep finding similar sounds. And then you're stuck in that place where you have a whole bunch of songs that I need to just listen, like a playlist. And then that's when I start creating playlists of similar sounds. So I don't have a pattern of some sort. Like even if you go into my iTunes, like there wouldn't be a pattern that you wouldn't understand. Because one minute you're listening to Disclosure, the other minute you're listening to Barry White.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, you really won't understand until I take you to the playlist. Okay, I created this playlist because I was thinking about this. What would it sound like if I was cooking? Like what music would be dope if
That's
I'm just in
cool.
the kitchen cooking? You're trying to inspire yourself. The cleaning part, well, someone does that, so I don't have a playlist according to that. But
Yeah.
everything I have a playlist for. That if I was doing this, or if I was driving from Durban to Joburg, what would I be listening to?
Okay.
It's. I think for me, it's just the patterns and what I'm thinking of at the time and how I feel.
And it's so cool because that's based on experiences, and that's exactly what music does. It heightens the experience of whatever it is, which is really beautiful.
So for me also, it's just the feeling that I get from that particular sound and artist, which makes me really follow. Like there's a lot of dope young South African artists that are out there, and it's lovely listening to them because they're so creative.
Yeah.
They don't need no, you need to be signed, go to a record label. No, you need to make your album now in the next 3 months. No, they're making music continuously, lovely
true.
music.
That's true.
And there's just so many. Because what I realized at some stage is that a lot of, like Pretoria has a lot of artists.
Yeah.
Like a young, dope artist. So, KZN as well.
Yeah.
But it's just that it's young people actually
Yeah.
being creative and just making their own renditions of things.
Yep.
Their own
Sampling.
interpretation.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
if you think about like what Maskandi is. If you listen now, there's something that's like a new age Maskandi.
Yeah.
It keeps the traditional elements
Yeah.
to a certain point, but they're doing it different.
That's true.
Now everyone can be part of
The whole
Umaskandi.
experience.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because of how they are doing and their interpretation of it. So I don't know. Music, I think everything music I just love, and I think I won't have anything that I'll love more.
Cool.
In all honesty.
Cool. And I totally get it. I totally get it. Now, when we get into like the radio space, I think the most popular title or job title that we are accustomed to where music is concerned is the music compiler. However, there's a music department, so essentially what does a music department at a radio station really look like?
So our music department is basically responsible for the station's identity and when you talk about music.
Cool.
Right. So if you choose a format as a station, let's say we're creating a station, we choose a format, we say we are hot AC.
Okay.
We are urban contemporary.
Okay.
You will now have to then super serve your listeners that format, because if they came to you for that, you now need to give them the best of that. So, for example, Hot AC, Top 100, right? So that's charting songs, hot, current stuff. Right?
Sure.
So you then need to then create a strategy on how then this music is going to play out on a daily basis.
Okay.
So obviously there's clocks. In those clocks, there's categories.
Okay.
Right? So you say, depending on how far you want to go. Let's say you want to go 90s all the way to recent. So you have to break down your clock on how your music is going to then play out.
Okay.
Because you can't have 10 2000s songs playing back to back.
I
You get what I
see.
mean?
I see.
So you're also trying to then play it in a way that it gives you everything. It's a nice mix of music all the time.
Sure.
So that's why you're going to have a high rotation, which are your most recent. Top charting, let's say, because we're talking hot AC at this point, let's say we're talking Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber. They just recently dropped. So you have those songs on high rotation, they're new singles. So when they slow down or they've played a certain amount of times, you then move them over to a category, maybe you'd call it recurrent.
Okay.
From your recurrent, it then goes into your core. So then your core would have the stuff that your core would then have the stuff that's not too old,
Okay.
but obviously it's not the most recent stuff. It's not the
Okay.
highest charting stuff at this particular point.
Okay.
And then obviously that core you break down to 2000s. You break down to 2000s, 2010s, maybe 2020 to 2022, and then you have the 90s. So then now you create your clock so that all the genre, getting the word wrong, all the eras play out, so that when you are driving, I'm giving you a nice music mix.
Okay.
So you're gonna hear something recent, you're gonna hear something nostalgic,
Okay.
you're gonna hear something not too old, but you remember, no man, I used to jam, I love this, So that's the
Yeah.
feeling you're trying to get, because you're creating a companion in music for the person who's a listener.
Yeah.
You see, so as you're building that, you build it around your clock, and obviously there's spots in that clock.
Okay.
There's links in that clock.
Okay.
So the music department basically focuses on the music and your music strategy that you're trying to achieve, right?
Okay.
And then, so that also your presenters focus on the content.
Yes.
Because if the presenter is focusing on the music, the content is going to lack at some
Yep.
point, right?
Yep.
Because you're not focusing on what we
should
want from
be,
you, right?
yeah.
Because what I want from you is to deliver live read properly. Your content needs to be factual. It needs to be backed by something.
Yeah.
But the way you're talking to us, you basically, I'm now engaging with you.
Yeah.
Right. So the person falls in love with the station, the music, then
Then the
the personalities
personality.
that are there.
Sure.
That's why now the person who's the advertiser now then says, is this a great place to now put my product next to, so that they sell it for me?
Cool.
So if you're doing a good job in the content and the music, we don't say automatically, but obviously that is a good start in order to attract people to then bring their products and say, hey, we love the platform, people love it, and we want to sell our product to people.
That is so cool. I think also breaking it down like that is so interesting because I'm just like, yeah, yeah, no, mara kannete, and it makes sense, you know. I get it. However, it also sounds complicated in terms of how it's put. Is there like a software for this? How do you actually categorize all of this and automate it in a way so that it can be executed?
So there's multiple like softwares that exist
Okay.
that to run a radio station. But what we know, most compilers know, and what's now probably the industry standard is the RCS systems.
Sure.
So which is Zeta and G Selector.
Yeah.
So those are the easier, user friendly, compatible with most things, and they work really. It works really well, basically. So that's the system used because Zeta is basically your play out what the presenter sees.
Yes.
So G Selector and Linker is where we schedule the music and then the spots.
Okay, cool.
So they come from G Selector and then they integrate to Zeta, and then when you are presenting, that's what you see. The green are the spots,
Yeah.
then the different music
Yeah.
in different categories. Hence why you always have a compiler rushing into this. No, don't move the songs. Don't do this.
Yes.
Make sure you don't drop the local song because there's also a local quota that you have to
Sure.
maintain.
Sure.
I think right now the percentages you have to be playing 36%.
That's very low.
Well, it could be better, but I feel like your urban stations are actually playing a lot of local.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So it's like that's the minimum.
Yeah, that's the minimum.
Okay,
that you
cool.
have to keep that the 36% is very important that you
Okay,
don't
cool.
go under that.
I see.
If you go over, even better.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
But also
cool.
what supplements those that is also the interviews you do. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
So you get points according to that, and then there's also if an artist is new and they just released their first, let's say their first single, they're a very new, brand new artist. That single there's a point system called a Type 3. You get additional points
Okay.
from for just interviewing the artist, playing their music. So, but after 6 months, you have to take off that Type 3, and then they become a normal artist because now they've released probably an EP or a
Okay, that's cool. But what is the reality? I mean, on terms of you've worked for regional stations, which are huge. I mean, when you think of 947, that's huge. When you think of Kaya, that's huge, Joe. Even just YFM, you know, that's huge. So now my thing is, okay, what is the reality of having a brand new artist who's dropping a song and we're all going to hear it for the very first time on such a platform? What is the reality?
The reality is that how the people who are compiling.
The Dreamstream studio in Randburg is a full-service studio on Bromfisher Drive. It's perfectly suited for podcast, music recordings, and general video recordings. Backed up by an experienced editing and production team means you can walk in, record, and walk out knowing that everything will get done as you require. Our mobile gear ensures we can cover your video and live streaming needs on location too. We got the cameras, the lights, and the action to make you and your brand shine. Contact us now, studio@dreamstream.co.za, and we'll make it happen. Dreamstream, a place to create yourself.
Fine, you have your core artist and the artists that basically are your or what basically keeps your station going, and you know you get those from labels, etc., etc. But also you need to find artists, because the only way there's going to be new artists is that someone has to break them. So we have to find something and say, this is lovely. We might be a station that doesn't break, but
Okay.
this person needs a play. So for me at 947, for example, it was Will Lindley.
Okay.
Someone says to me, hey, listen to this. Oh, okay, cool. Listen to it. I'm like, yeah, this is actually good.
Okay.
He's actually got it's a good sound, and he's going to be around for thing as he grows as an artist, and look where he is now. So you do get those people submitting stuff and saying, hey, this is going to be a cool artist. You know, we're not going to say most times, but obviously there's this 60%, 40% of 60% of the time people give you stuff and you're like,
Ish.
no, that ain't it. And then there's that 40% that people come in and you're like, man, we can make this work somehow.
Okay.
And then and when you start playing it and you're giving it good rotation, the artist grows, and then I think there's nothing lovelier than seeing something like that happen.
That's so true.
So the reality is that the compilers then have to then look for people.
How do you look for people? How do you look for music?
SoundCloud.
Okay.
Right now, TikTok is the craze where you to find someone, because people are shooting short promo videos to promote their music. There's an artist I came across, and it's not recent, but they knew, called Betty Brown.
Okay.
I think she's from Swaziland. That's a beautiful voice, and when you see someone like that, I want them to be successful, and you want to basically mess with their music. Like, how can I play it? Who can I send it to? Am I the only one who's hearing this? Because it feels like you're the only one when you discover something. Like, am I the only one who's hearing this? Like, are people actually listening to?
Sure.
So that's the things that I go through, like, personally, right?
Okay.
Because I try and make sure that if something is good, it needs to get out there.
Sure.
Why are we holding
Onto it, like,
playlists as if my dad owns a station? My dad doesn't own a station. Let's put the music on. Stop making people, like, making it difficult. If it's good, it's good.
Sure.
That we have to have that mentality. If it's good, it's good.
That's it.
That's how the industry is gonna grow.
Yeah.
Because the industry, when something is popular, and in South Africa, this is what we realize, that when something is big, nothing else can be big outside of it. So now we have Amapiano. Everything else is struggling.
Yeah.
So the more artists you put in, the more genres that we explore, and people that are making good music.
Sure.
And we try to expose that, the more people can diversify their talent. They don't have to be, I'm talented, I'm a musician, but I can only do Amapiano.
And that's a bit tricky.
It's very tricky, Susan.
Yeah.
It's very tricky, because when one thing is the it at that point, everything else stops, and it's a very difficult industry to then
help grow.
But then for people to be successful, because there's people sitting with music, but it's not what we're looking for.
Ish, njani, guys, njani. Okay, so we're in the music department now. What are the roles that exist? Because for sure it cannot only be the compiler.
Well, it's a compiler and then the manager. So the manager then would sit in the meetings, right? Obviously, they then relay the strategy, what changes need to happen, right?
Okay.
What strategy we're working on, because once you then put together the whole radio station, you now need to keep people listening.
Yeah.
So there has to be TSL builders, which is time spent listening.
Yep.
Cume builders, which is just you marketing the brand.
Yeah.
Right. So you need those type of things that you plan every year around the music. So you need to, there's features that you then need to do, like according to your format. Let's have a Taylor Swift day.
Yeah.
Let's have a Rihanna day.
Yeah.
That type of thing, because those things are what? TSL builders as well, and Cume builders.
For sure.
So you have to have those things as part of strategy, so that people know that you have the music. But why do you keep them coming back?
Yeah.
You have to keep them coming back, because you have a P1, what is called a P1, which is your main listener. And then there's a person who generally is called a P2, who comes in, listens. Maybe they like your show. They might not like the station,
but they'll tune in particularly
for a
that
person.
Cool.
But when they're listening to the music, that's why the music mix is very important, and why we say when the department says don't touch the playlist, it basically means don't interfere with the flow.
Sure.
Because if you play what you like,
it's like njani, because like it's not your radio station.
You're pushing certain people aside. Now it becomes more a personal playlist, which is excluding other people. So that's why that we have to strike the balance. So the manager then works on the strategies, what's going to happen next, anything marketing, anything that we need to do as a department to keep people coming back.
Okay.
And for that P2, when we keep that music, the balance and the music sounding great, that person who comes and listens to your show then starts enjoying the music. So now you've hooked a person who's like, oh, I love the music as well, and they start listening to the station more.
Constantly, yeah.
So you're basically working on that, keeping your P1s happy and keeping them on the station, and then trying to attract other people. So there's a whole bunch of strategy, a whole bunch of features and little things that we do in order to make sure that the person is always entertained, and when they come in, the station plays the role that they believe the station is in their life, basically.
Okay.
It's a companion. I have to listen to the station. This station gives me the right music all the time. Whatever the reason for them being there, you have to make sure that you deliver on that all the time.
Okay. I think we've got a very solid understanding of how it works in terms of the music department and how music is then delivered to the end listener. But of course, in a very good running system, there are people who are going to want to hack the system.
Of course.
And at this rate, this is like now introducing things like Payola, How can you, or how is it possible that someone can hack such a system that is sort of so well run? Because it doesn't sound like someone has the ability to just, hey, let me put in my USB and just fit in this song that I got paid for into such a well run machine.
See, that's the human part coming in at this point.
Okay.
Whatever you're going through, sometimes people are going through certain things. Sometimes people, it's just greed.
Okay.
I just want to be cool. I want to buy expensive thing, whatever the story is.
Okay.
But that's just the human element coming in, where a person is convinced by another. Listen, play this thing. I'll give you this much. And then obviously the offer is something you're like, damn, an extra 10 grand here, an extra 30 grand there.
Hectic.
You feel like I can do things like for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And that's how it happens. I think it's just the human part. It can't be. You can't blame anyone else besides the person who's going through whatever they're going through and deciding to take money.
But systematically, I mean, are you able to then spot that this is an unusual song?
I think you probably get it from the song itself. Then when you have something that it really doesn't make sense. It's like I go to. I'm not saying 947 doesn't play Kwaito, but they probably do when they have a feature or something. They it's something. It's a topic or whatever.
Sure.
But I'm randomly playing on high rotation. Let's say Shoza Cortez comes in.
Yeah.
It's you. Now it's on high rotation.
Yeah. It's like,
But format wise, that, and maybe that's a bad example, but it's just a case of when something is out of format and now all of a sudden it's here, you can look at that and be like, then question. Other places would be like, no, that shouldn't be there, take it off. But when you have a system where someone has now got in and has been, the song is on high rotation, it's playing all the time, or they keep pulling it in when they're scheduling, so it's playing more often than it's supposed to play.
Sure.
You can look at those things and be like, what's going on here?
Dodgy behavior.
But we're not saying that is the exact thing. You can see that, no, this person did this, or someone is doing something wrong.
Okay, cool. It's not like obvious.
That's not obvious.
Okay.
It's not obvious, not unless then you start hearing the news that, well, someone from outside comes to you and says, hey, but the other person is doing this that you're working with. So there's a whole bunch of things that can get you in that situation, or you can also how you can find out someone is doing something wrong.
Okay. So as a compiler, what's the most amount of Payola you've been offered?
It wasn't actually four thing, because I used to laugh at people when they used to come through and be like, hey, this is my song. And it started off at why, you're younger and people come, they think, oh, okay, impressionable. I generally have this thing of saying, once you take money from someone, they now have control.
Yeah.
Now you have to move to what they're saying because they can expose that you're doing these things.
And it's never going to stop.
So I've never had a situation where, and I think I'm proud of this as well, a situation where I'll be like, no, I'm struggling, so now I need to, I figured it out. Now I need to go take Payola and do this. I'd rather go to do other ventures that are going to make me money.
Okay.
So, but this was for an awards situation.
Are you a judge?
At some point I was.
Okay. This is for the summers, yeah?
I'm not going to mention names.
Cool.
I'm saying,
all right.
All I'm saying is that at some point, hey, we want this artist to win. And the funny thing, we were recording. After a while, we were recording there's a reality show about the academy, like going through the process of being at Y. as an intern. So we had recording equipment, was set up, and I just happened to have the idea like, no, listen, there's a person who's trying to offer me money to then make a certain artist win. And I was like, okay, let's record this. So we go into one of the boardrooms. I tell the sound guys, I'm like, hey, just record. I want it. So she's like, yeah, no, listen, you know what happened at because the metros had happened, and at that time, I think Mabal had won
Yeah.
a whole bunch of awards.
Yeah. Oh, you're giving us an era. I like that.
Yeah, so Mabal had won a whole bunch of awards, and then this person came, no, we're trying to get our artist to win. We're not sure what's going to happen. So I'm like, okay, then why are you here? Why are you telling me? How do you even know that
Yeah.
I'm a judge, one?
Yeah. I was also about to ask that.
Two, how do you know where I work? My number.
Jeez.
So when I went to the body of these awards, I was like, "What, guys? You can't do that. You can't put us in a position where you're giving everyone my everything, and then this person now is gonna come to me and say, hey, can you take this? And do
Yeah.
this?" I don't even remember how much the amount was, but it probably looked like it was 50,000.
Okay.
So I said, "Nah, okay, cool. No, don't worry. I'll meet you later. Take your money, but I have the whole recording.
Yeah.
I'll meet you later, sharp." And then I go to my manager. I'm like, "Hey, you don't know what just happened." He's like, "What happened?" Like, "Yeah, someone just offered me money for an award."
Hectic.
"What? So why don't you tell us to record?" I'm like, "Nah, don't worry. I got the audio.
Hey, so what did you do with the audio?
It's just sitting on my laptop." But like, I listen to it sometimes. I'm like, "Yo, this was a weird time." Like, so people go around taking these monies, and then because now the issue is that you take someone's money, you're gonna have to do everything they say.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get fired. You're
Yeah.
gonna have a reputation of, no, Sbu is this person. If
Yeah.
you go to him, you have to have a certain amount of money. And no, I don't think I've been that hungry that I'd want to do that. I also don't want to be. I'm not a flashy person.
Yeah.
You know, as I got my two kids. One's going to university next year. One isn't going to matric. So I just want to make sure they
They're
get
good.
to university, go to school.
Yeah.
They're done. Finish building my house in Durban.
Yeah.
And go sit there and
Yeah.
watch them carry on with life. You know, that's what I want. So I don't want to take this money. You have to do this. And then when I've taken it, now I'm in a situation where I don't want to be in,
Yeah.
and I don't like being told what to do
Sure.
because I know what I have to do. When
Sure.
it comes from work, this is the directive. This is what I need to achieve. That makes me happy enough. At home, it's my mom, my dad. I try to listen to my sister sometimes, but I'm just saying I'm not a person that I like being told what to do because the structure that I have in my life, I'm working towards those things. So now if I start doing weird things that are going to complicate my life, no.
And it's so good to be such a grounded and solid person in your values, in your principles, because but it's wild out here.
Yeah, but you get a lot of people saying things about you like, no, he's lying. He definitely did something, or no, he thinks he's better. I don't think I'm better than anyone. I'm just living.
Yeah.
I'm just doing what I love.
Yeah.
And I just want to just be good at it. You know, I want to achieve certain things. You know, manage artists, have a label at some stage. You know, have an agency that I can help people achieve their goals, especially in music.
That's cool.
If I can do that, I don't care about the rest. The money will come if it's supposed to come. If it doesn't, then I was supposed to live like this, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna try force a situation where, now let's go do this, because you end up, and I think this is how people probably get into crime, thinking that you're gonna go. There's a way that you're gonna force to have a lot of money. If it's supposed to come, it will come.
Yeah.
You do what you're good at, and be great and be consistent at it.
Yeah.
I think the rest happens.
What is the one thing that people don't know about music compiling?
I think there's people that still don't know that the presenters or the DJs are actually not scheduling music.
Yeah.
So we just there. You know, like, the presenter does everything. And then you have to explain to people, no, but they don't.
Yeah.
You know, they might interfere with the playlist, definitely, but they actually don't. There's someone who sits there and has to come up with playlists.
For sure.
And it's their responsibility.
For sure.
And they get into trouble if the sound is not good.
Yes.
Or we do research and then the research comes back, it's like, nah, but you guys are doing X, Y, and Z. We have to constantly improve.
The Dreamstream studio in Randburg is a full-service studio on Bromfisher Drive. It's perfectly suited for podcast, music recordings, and general video recordings. Backed up by an experienced editing and production team means you can walk in, record, and walk out knowing that everything will get done as you require. Our mobile gear ensures we can cover your video and live streaming needs on location too. We got the cameras, the lights, and the action to make you and your brand shine. Contact us now, studio@dreamstream.co.za, and we'll make it happen. Dreamstream, a place to create yourself.
You know, so I think the thing that people don't, what people don't know is probably that there's a person besides the presenter who does the music.
Okay.
You know?
And I'm sure you also get a lot of music, you receive a lot of music from different artists, but I guess there's a way in which artists should actually send the music.
Yeah.
And I guess in terms of the jargon or the language that they use, or even just the approach, what is the right way for artists to actually come to music compilers and send you or offer music to you guys?
If you have access to the actual station that you want to go to, maybe try call in, try set up a meeting. So you can actually speak to the compiler and say, hey, this is my single.
Okay.
I'd like a chance to get it played.
Okay.
But the most important thing, you approach obviously respectful. You respect basically where you're going because it's not your like home. You know?
Yeah.
So obviously you can set up a meeting. You can email as well.
Sure.
As long as you have the most important things, your publishing info,
Okay.
your song, maybe put it in a Dropbox or a platform where the link won't expire, for example.
Okay, cool.
But have your publishing info on there so that if I listen to it and like it, I download at the same time. I then have everything so that I don't have to now look for you. Because the other mistake people have is that they drop a single, you're like, yeah, I love this, I want to play it. But then there's no publishing info.
Yeah. It's like, what's the point?
Then now I'm stuck trying to understand, like, what do I do? Do I call them? No, now I'm trying to figure out what to do instead of you supplying everything.
Sure.
And then all my job is just listen to it, oh, I love it, and then give it a chance.
Cool.
Put it into research, and then if something comes out and then, yeah, they love it, then we can play it.
Okay.
So I think just to make it make sense, it's just that you can go to the station or or call in, get the compiler's email address, put your song in a Dropbox, for example, create a link, put all the publishing info, title it properly, include everyone and everything that's part of the piece of music.
Okay.
And then you can send it via email, or you can drop it off. And if you're lucky to get contact details of the compiler or personal email, you can even send it to them, listen, and then obviously I load it whenever I get to load it.
So what's better, like Dropbox or like a WAV file or an MP3 file? What's actually more convenient for
I think
you?
if your link is not going to expire, so if you're going to upload it to a place where it's not going to expire, because the issue we have is that you're checking your emails, you're listening to songs, but maybe you haven't checked it because it was busy, for whatever reason. You get back to the song and you're like, oh, let me listen to this. You get there, the link has expired.
Yeah.
Now you have an issue of, now I need to call, find. Or sometimes you move on.
Yeah.
Because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
So that's how you miss your opportunity because your link expired. You know, it's something very simple, but it's also very annoying to imagine that you could have missed something or you could have missed an opportunity because you didn't have the info. A link to your song expired. You know, because when you attach it, also the song bounces sometimes.
Yeah.
If it's the file is the size
Too
is too big.
yeah.
So all those little things, just making sure that, because I'd literally have a template. Create a good template, and there's AI now.
Yeah.
Go to ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT to create a template for an email for you submitting your music.
Okay.
And then all you do is just change the address,
Yeah,
change
sure.
the name of the station that you think.
Sure.
So to keep it consistent and you make sure that everything is there all the time.
Is it important to attach a bio if I'm submitting my music? Like, do you really have to know who I am?
Well, a little, not really, because I'm probably more interested in the music. I'll read the bio just to understand who you are.
Okay, cool.
But let's say I get the music, I love it, I start playing it. We start playing it as a station. At some point, you get to a point where you're so big that now the shows want to interview you.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going to get most of the information about you.
Sure.
But also the most important person is the people who are listening to you and love your music.
Absolutely.
So when you get that opportunity now that you're being interviewed, that's where people are going to get most of the information.
Okay.
But for me, it's just a case of, oh, I'm whoever from here. I'm part of this label. I'm an independent artist. I'd like an opportunity. And then I need the music to listen.
Do you tell people that, okay, I'm confirming your music is now officially playlisted?
Yeah,
Okay.
you have to. Because when the music comes in, it's received. We'll take a listen. If it gets playlisted, you'd have to respond and say to the person, hey, look out for your song that has been playlisted.
Okay, cool.
Even if you can even go as far as telling you the rotation, and it's not high rotation. Part of the chords, you're going to hear it sporadically. It's not going to be all the time.
Okay.
So you give people that information because it just makes sense.
Okay.
You can't just someone saying and then you just go quiet and then
Yeah,
and
like
then
not
randomly oh my song,
My song is on the
You see.
radio.
and then you submit it to how many stations? So
Yes,
then probably how many stations are they listening to? So you just let them know just to they can be aware that okay, Kaya plays, and then they can focus and maybe you listen to Kaya until they hear the song.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fair
but
enough.
it's fair practice is to just respond to people.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your favorite music feature on radio?
I think for me it's still the chart.
Okay.
Still the charts because I got to work with the presenter who was really good and loved music, right? And how they presented a chart was dope, and how they basically connected you to the music, you know. And we happened to win 2 radio awards for that
Oh,
chart.
nice.
So it was
Shout out.
2021, 2022. And it was what at 947 with Zweli.
Okay, nice. He's
So
brilliant.
he was really good because
Yeah.
even when you're putting it together, sometimes, you know, you don't expect people are going to love it as much as what you are doing. But then when someone connects it, so see, this is the important part. Now understanding why we separate
the presenter and
from
the music.
Because if the presenter focuses their energy on how do I give you the best content around this chart or whatever you have on air, whatever you've planned, it works out really well.
Okay.
Because he knew how to, this is what's happening with this person. They have a concert here. They're going to be in the UK. They're coming to South Africa. And then a whole bunch of things that are happening in the person's life, and then leading up to then saying, and this is the song that came about. Press play.
Love it.
You see, that's, if someone can tell a story like that and they work their content like that, I think it's always good radio. It's always great listening. You know, it's very important for, like, good radio is just good radio.
Yeah.
And some people are just good at it.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, that's what we appreciate sometimes as they make your playlist.
Yeah.
They make your playlist what you've done. You're happy because even they're excited, but I haven't heard this in a while. But,
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. It's those little, it's compliments that daily that just keep you going and just loving what you're doing. But radio in itself is just, it's a lovely platform to work on, to be honest.
Totally agree. And I think compiling music is something very interesting because it's also not like there's a course for it. You know, it's not like you can go to Boston and study to be a music manager or a music compiler. But let's say somebody does want to be a compiler or be a part of a music team or even just be an intern in the music department. what would you say are the most important skills they should have? What would you say they should probably think about doing to get there?
Probably gonna get this wrong because many people have taken different parts and ended up at different places. So I think for me it's and maybe what I've realized is that if a person has an ear for music, you'll figure that out when you're sitting with them.
Yeah.
But a person's ear cannot be that terrible that they can't put together a playlist. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe that there's someone who has an ear so terrible because you have something you like,
Yeah.
and then there's songs that everyone likes,
Yeah.
right? And in radio, we generally work with those songs.
Yeah.
Those songs are so big that everyone liked them. You know, if I said Robin S. Show Me Love, everyone knows what Robin S. Show Me Love is.
Sure.
So when I put these songs in front of you and I say, make a playlist, I think the only thing you at that point you're doing is literally making sure you're not playing the same of the same.
Okay.
Make sure you're not putting together 3, 4, 5 dance songs because now the person who really is not into dance.
Yeah.
No, can't. So you need to sit down with the person and then go through that process of making them understand what you want all the time. So studying, I think it's if you have also a background in sound engineering,
Okay.
because you then understand editing, you understand sounds, you understand working with sound itself.
Okay.
If you have that background, you can then now come in and say, I want to shadow someone. So in the shadowing process, what do? We say, okay, cool. I'll schedule the drives, the main shows. You go to the weekend and use what's there and show me what. And then obviously you start building that.
Okay.
You start building your sound, start building how you put together playlists. You have an idea of what sounds good when and how.
Yeah.
So I think it's more about you can learn it. You can learn it. That's the best thing because I can't go study to have a good ear.
Yeah. It's something you either got it or you don't. Okay. All right. Lastly, any advice to artists where radio is concerned, where music is concerned?
I think understand that radio has a format. So this thing of just I'm gonna submit everywhere doesn't make sense. And then you feel bad that you got rejected. If it doesn't work for that place, focus on the places that play your music. And if you're lucky, so your song crosses over, it will cross over.
Yeah.
And then other people will pick it up.
Sure.
So, and I'm not saying people don't go there and don't do this. No, try everywhere, but you need to understand this format. So if you read on a radio station and you read up, understand formats, what they play, and then you know, okay, cool, this should work here.
Okay.
And what their strategy is. Some stations don't break new music.
Yeah.
They might try it out, but they don't break.
Yeah.
But places like Y,
They do.
they do.
Absolutely.
And they thrive on that because a lot of artists,
Yeah.
we knew them because their first songs played at
Yeah.
YFM.
You heard it here first kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Okay. That is so solid. I appreciate you making time to have this conversation. It's been so insightful, because obviously now there's like a system of a way of understanding it. Oh, okay, this is how this happened.
Yeah. Thank you. And thank you for having me. Yeah. So, yeah, I think, radio, there's a whole bunch of, misconceptions. But I just think with okay, let me not say a whole bunch. Just that there's certain misconceptions with radio that how the processes work, etc., etc. So people you need to understand. But with any industry, when you go into something, you need to understand what you're going to do.
For sure.
So if you understand that, okay, cool, I'm a rapper. These are the stations that work for me, and I should push hard on these stations. If the other stations pick it up, great. But also, you need to also be doing your own
research,
marketing, your own PR, putting yourself out there.
Understood.
That's also very important because we pick up on things that we see that, oh, okay, cool, everyone's loving this.
Yeah.
Let's give it a try.
Sure.
And then obviously if you include research in it and you go to testing and then it comes back and it scores high, like, oh, people actually love this. Now it goes into high rotation.
Makes sense.
But it needs to be a place that works for what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Sibu.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so much. Yeah, it would be so great to have you again, because there's so much to understand where this is concerned. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, I do appreciate it. Thank you for making the time. And thank you for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. Look, if you want to book the studio, maybe you want to listen, or rather, you want to record your own music, or perhaps you want to shoot your own podcast, all you need to do is send that important email. It is info@dreamstream.co.za. By the way, na kalina ke Nabusi, Baba Kulu, Baba Dese, Barake the Queen of Pitori, and we are outie.